What is good, everybody? Welcome to the Snug Wrestling Podcast. Holy shit. I feel like I just watched so much goddamn wrestling today because SmackDown is 3 hours long and they had match after match after match. We can't even complain about the amount of wrestling that was on the show. Felt like it was a lot, man. Even though it still had a bunch of commercial breaks and super long entrances, like a usual WWE show, we had a lot of fucking wrestling, which to me felt like a lot more than usual. Four qualifying matches, a women's tag match. We had what else? I think we had like at least five matches on this
The
show.
open challenge makes six.
Six matches in a WWE show in one show feels crazy. They don't even do that for PLEs. But we're going to go over that tonight here with the Snug Wrestling crew. Mr. Blood, Tommy, and Toxic are all here. How y'all feeling, fellas?
Pretty good. These 3 hour SmackDowns are starting to justify that extra hour being added back on because they are actually writing it better. They are actually fitting people on the show and showcasing people who actually need to be showcased. We're getting some stories here. We got Julia. Wow, 2 weeks in a row on a show? It must have been a shooting star. Friggin' Leon Slater gets some shine tonight. Another great Carmelo Hayes match, by the way. We got to see a lot of stuff. Ilya was back on the show. We had a lot of good shit tonight. I feel like it was nice. Lash Legend got some spotlight tonight. God, Julia, who's her partner again? I always mix her up. Kiana James. I almost called her Kiana Perez. Kiana James got some shine tonight. We got to see. So, in my opinion, I know we were really dreading those 3 hours, but if they keep writing it to where you're getting more substance on the show and not a bunch of filler like we had been, well, let me put it this way. SmackDown's not feeling so skippable anymore. And I think that's a good thing.
100% agree with Blood. I mean, just SmackDown's actually watchable now that they're actually writing the third hour instead of just rushing it and making it unable to watch without getting bored, even though that's been SmackDown for a while. That's my personal opinion. If you don't like it, cry about it. I'm kidding. But yeah, I'm in the same boat as Blood that I mean, it feels like I can actually watch SmackDown and be interested. Like, I mean, I can do the same thing with Raw and if NXT if I watch it. I I don't know if I do it. But yeah,
Yeah, you both full blown said it. SmackDown is now feeling absolutely watchable. And this sucker tonight was Jacob Fatu coded. This man showed up like what, 3 different times tonight, I'm pretty sure, at least. In the opener and then in a couple other spots. So this sucker was definitely Jacob Fatu coded, and like Blood said, at this point, if they keep writing this shit like this, it's absolutely justifying that third hour add-on.
Yeah, it was definitely. Jacob Fatu was all over the show, and Jacob Fatu got the rub from one of the greatest wrestlers in the world today, Kit Wilson, y'all. No, I'm just kidding. We'll talk about Kit Wilson, but in all seriousness, you guys, yes, this match was full of. I mean, the show was full of matches, full of action, full of substance, like Mr. Blood put it. A lot of new faces showing up on SmackDown, but I couldn't shake that feeling that even though now this is maybe just me, but you guys tell me how you feel about this, what I'm about to say, because I'm about to say something crazy, but I don't care. But I couldn't help but feel like a lot of these matches just felt random and cold. And I know you guys mentioned like, oh, they're writing it better, but are they writing it better? Because there was a point where I felt like, okay, we get an open challenge, cold, random match, and then we got four qualifying matches with four, eight random guys that don't really have any feuds or any beef or they're just having matches to qualify for a Fatal 4-Way Saturday Night's Main Event, it just, a lot of it kind of felt just random to me. Was that just me? Did anyone else get that feeling
I'm
watching
gonna
this?
be honest and say it was just you. Because here's the thing, and you've made this point against me before, where you said,
here we go.
No, not
Here
not
we
every.
go.
You said it. Not every match needs a story. Sometimes it's okay to have something where just two
That doesn't
wrestlers
sound
go
like
out there to
something I would
wrestle.
say.
And here's the thing, like all of these matches tonight, you could say were either good to really good. For the most part, I don't think I had a match on the show where I was like, okay, next. I had some interest in everything on the show. I would say the one match I expected to be bored of seeing would have been Randy versus Miz, because I have seen that 1,000 times over the years. But needless to say, crowd loved it. They were into it. And I think, I don't know where you're getting this cold feeling from, because the crowd was there all night. They were really into everything all night. It seemed like there was a lot of cheering, a lot of "this is awesome" chants, a lot of "you deserve it," a lot of "holy shits," a lot of standing ovations. And maybe we could say that maybe, hey, this card works so good because they're in Europe, because they're in a place that's so starved for WWE live content. So maybe they're more grateful. They're a more grateful audience, because you could argue that if you put this card somewhere in the States, let's say you just throw this bitch in, we're live from New Jersey tonight, the crowd might not give a shit. But tonight, the crowd gave a shit. And some of that you could say is likely because of where they are. They're happy that WWE's there. They don't feel oversaturated. So I think that played a lot into the matches working tonight.
Well, for the record, Mr. Blood, I remember saying not every match needs a title. I don't think I've ever said every match needs a story. That's crazy.
No, it's not that you said every match needs a story. It's that you said sometimes it's okay. You don't always need a title. You don't always need a rivalry, is what you said.
Never.
So you did
Never.
in that same breath.
Never.
Hands up if you remember that.
Bullshit. You guys are so
I'm
bullshit.
ADHD, so don't count on me.
Yeah.
That's some
But
bullshit.
the point is that
No, that's not the point,
the
dog.
is, and I'll make this argument so we can begin the show. But at the end of the day, I don't always want every match to have a story. I don't want every match to have a rivalry. Sometimes I just want to see two guys or two gals go out there and just fucking show us what they do for a living. And tonight we had a lot of fresh shit, a lot of great stuff tonight, a lot of stuff some stuff, hey, we've seen before. We've seen but we've seen Damian and Soul before, but not a lot. We haven't seen it since middle of last year or beginning of last year, right before Mania for the U.S. titles, the U.S. title picture. So it's been 10 months since we've seen these guys verse. We haven't seen. I can't name the last time I watched Sammy versus Ilya except for the U.S. title match. Before that, when? To me, this is something great, because this is only the second time we've ever fucking seen it, and it was great the first time. So like Leon versus Carmelo, fresh as hell. What a match!
Cold.
So cold. Did you watch the same match I watched? That audience came alive.
No, that's not what I mean by cold. Cold, I mean like
No
just
heat. It didn't
random
need heat.
out of nowhere.
Yeah, but it didn't need heat. They're both babies.
Lazy booking.
It's not lazy booking. It's literally a surprise. And hold on. You were so happy a couple weeks ago when Leon got pulled from that one show I covered in the news, where you said, well, I don't know why they'd be upset. I mean, what's he supposed to do? Say no to the biggest opportunity of his career? Well, guess what? He was supposed to be at a TNA event, and they pulled him from that event to be on this actual tour for this match to showcase him. So can you really say it's cold when you were arguing for the sake of this guy taking these chances and he gets another one and it's for a title?
Doesn't mean he shouldn't do it. It's a good look for him, but it doesn't
be happy that he was
doesn't
there.
interest. It doesn't. No, I was happy, but it was just a random match. That's all I'm saying. It was a random match.
But that's what an open challenge is. It's random. It's open.
I know, and I'm also getting tired of that shit too.
Oh, I love it. Keeps that championship hot.
Cold, bro. All right.
I shudder for the day a heel wins it because then they're not gonna defend it.
Well, I hope it happens sooner than later.
Oh Lord.
All right, Cha. The new WWE Undisputed Champion, Drew McIntyre, shows up in all his glory. He gets the entrance with the guys blowing on their pipes, wearing the skirts.
Snug
And,
correction, bagpipes.
Oh, the guys that blow on their backpipes wearing skirts.
Pause. And also, they're kilts, you uncultured swine.
Oh, right. That's right. That's
kilt.
right.
You
Yeah,
know,
those guys.
Roddy Piper's entire fucking thing?
Roddy Piper looked good in a skirt. I'm not going to lie. But yeah, Drew McIntyre gets the pyro. He gets the pop. The people are happy to see their new champion because a lot of people were tired of Cody. They were tired of seeing Cody come out with the belt, do the same entrance over and over again. But now we get Drew McIntyre, right? And Drew McIntyre is really happy. Yeah, I'm loving all this positivity. I'm loving all the cheers that I've been getting all over Europe. And you know what? I'm just here to say to all you fans, screw you. Don't jump on the bandwagon now, you good for nothing son of a guns. You are the worst of the worst. So that was fucking lovely. Even Drew was like, and I'm not just doing the bad wrestler thing here, all right? This is for real. You guys cheered for Punk. You guys cheered for Cody. You guys booed me. Now I'm champion, and now you want to cheer for me? Hell no. So Drew keeping it real, as he should, like he always does. Drew never tells no lies. And he gets interrupted. It was Randy, right? Randy Orton comes out, sends a little warning shot to Drew McIntyre. I'm going to get in this qualifying match. I'm going to go to Saturday night's main event, and I'm going to see you at the Rumble, Drew. And then we hear Jacob Fatu's music hit. Jacob Fatu wastes no time coming after Drew McIntyre. But that was the opening segment, Shaw. How did you guys feel about this? The first time seeing Drew McIntyre on TV as the new Undisputed Champion.
Here's the thing. I got ripped to pieces in comments from a video last week that went live on our channel because I hated that Drew won the title. But it wasn't that I hated he won the title because unfortunately that clip ends right before I said I wanted Drew to win. I just wanted the finish to be better. I wanted the story to make more sense because it was filled with plot holes that just didn't work. Again, why would Drew try to get Cody to cost himself the title? It would be automatically vacated. It would not mean Drew was automatically champion. Why would a returning babyface automatically jump another babyface just so the heel could win? I thought it was a stupid way to get the title off Cody. I'm glad that Cody lost the title. I want him as champion, but I love Drew as champion. I just wish Drew would have won the title in a way that made fucking sense. Now, here tonight, I love that Drew is here. Great welcome. He was fighting back tears in that promo. It really meant that much to him to see his countrymen. For those of you who don't know, he is Scottish, but Scottish people are considered British. Now, and a lot of people get that confused. Like, well, hold on. Well, like he said he's British, but he was Scottish. Scottish people are British. But Scottish people typically hold on to their Scottish ancestry, though they are British because Scotland is in the UK. So, but as far as it is concerned, I love that Randy interrupted him. Glad to see that plot hole or that plot thread continuing. Jacob comes out, but this is where I make a point about why what I said last week made fucking sense. Last week I said it was stupid that Jacob would attack Drew, but then just because Cody touched him, he jumped Cody worse than the guy who beat him up. And then everybody in the comments like, well, we don't even know Drew really beat him up, so that's why you're stupid and what you're saying doesn't make any sense. Then tell me why Tonight, Cody called out Jacob. Jacob didn't jump Cody, but Jacob sure as shit tried to jump Drew. So if he went straight for Drew again, that means Drew's the one who took him out. So tell me where I'm fucking wrong, you stupid internet marks.
Well, hold on, Mr. Blood, because one could say that Jacob Fatu might believe it was Drew McIntyre. If Jacob Fatu was blindsided or hit from behind, it could be he never saw who the person actually was and he just thinks it was Drew McIntyre.
And that's true. That still feeds my point. Because if he just thinks it's Drew, then he still should have spent more time beating on Drew than Cody, because then your point means he doesn't know that it actually was Cody. So then again, why would he spend all the time beating up the babyface more than the guy he believes took him out in the first place?
And there was also a backstage segment with Drew and I can't remember who he was talking to back there. Ilya Dragunov, where Ilya was like, hey, I'm coming for that title. And Drew was like, you know, I wasn't the one that took out Jacob Fatu's teeth, but I'll knock your teeth out if you keep talking to me or something like that. So Drew is standing by it. He's not taking credit for that Jacob Fatu attack.
I mean, of course he's not taking credit for it, but why would he admit to it? It just means he's going to keep getting gunned for. So, and even then, let's just say it turns out it actually was somebody else. Because I don't think they're turning Cody heel off of this. But I digress. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this would feel like a story that you could turn Cody heel with. You could be like, oh, Jacob thought it was Drew, but really Cody blindsided him from behind. I mean, that could always be a possibility. But, I mean, I don't know. All signs point to Drew. Because, I mean, Jacob literally went after him first in the 3 stages of hell in the last stage. And, what's it called? Tonight in the opener. So, and then in the backstage segment, Drew looked scared. Like he was like, I got to watch out for him. So, yeah, I think for me right now, I'm pretty confident that it's Drew, but there's part of me that thinks it could be Cody. Now, about the opener itself, just Drew McIntyre is one of those superstars that, I mean, nobody genuinely dislikes him, but they just don't like him at the period of time, like in a story or something, or just because he's the heel or something.
They love to hate him.
Yeah, they love to hate him. And just I wasn't tired of Cody as champion. It's just, I mean, look at the world heavyweight champion. We've had Seth hold that. We've had Drew hold that. We've had Damian, Gunther, Jay, Punk. It's like we've had a bunch of people hold that title, and we've had Roman, Cody, Cena, and then now Drew with the undisputed. So it's about time it went to someone else, and we got another title change. There was something else I was going to add, but I don't remember. So I'm going to leave it at that.
Yeah, and Roman held that thing for like, what, 3 fucking years or something crazy?
1,316 days.
Yeah.
And you could argue Cody's better as a chaser anyway. Most baby faces are.
Yeah, somebody commented in the live stream that me and Toxic were watching, saying that it felt weird not seeing Cody with the title around his waist. And here's why I think that is. Total, within the 2 reigns, he's held that thing for almost 2 years. Of course, it feels extremely fucking weird not seeing Cody with that title. So, there's that. I will also say as well that there was a video that I watched right after SmackDown went off where legitimately the first thing on my TikTok feed was Snoop Dogg saying word for word exactly what Drew McIntyre said tonight. The whole, hey, like, the one person I should thank is myself for believing in me for this, that, and the other thing. It's legitimately what what my brain fucking sucks now. I tripped myself up. What Snoop Dogg said way before Drew McIntyre ever said it. Seems like he just saw that and went, well, I'm going to use that now.
So Drew McIntyre took a Snoop Dogg line, basically?
No, the other way around.
Really?
Oh, it's one of them. Well, the way you said it, it sounded like Snoop Dogg took what Drew said. But
no, Snoop Dogg said it first.
Oh, well then I guess he took my lines word for word, bar for bar.
I wouldn't think Drew was a Snoop Dogg fan, but hey, I guess you never know.
If I could make one last point before we move on, it's extremely quick. Cody is a great champion for business. Sells a lot of merch. He's great for charity, PR, kids, all that stuff. In story, he is necessary as a chaser. In story, they just aren't telling interesting enough stories with him when he was holding that title. And that's why people were so stale on it. They were ready to see someone else win it and hold it because he's a great champion for business. He's best for business. He's not best for story. He's a better chaser. And I think that's what people are really trying to say when they complain about him being the title holder for such a long time.
We'll talk about Cody later, but we'll talk about Cody later, but just some of the reactions that I've been seeing as of late since SmackDown aired, I don't even think the people want to see him chase either anymore at this point.
I mean, I would say honestly, I love Cody to death. Obviously, they're going to have him try to chase towards Mania. New reports came out effectively that WWE has officially scrapped Roman Cody 3 for this year. They've officially scrapped it. It's no longer a match they're looking at. So if I got to imagine Cody is involved in the championship match at Mania, it's probably going to end up in a triple threat if we don't get that beforehand. Somehow that he's involved in it. I don't see how you have Cody Rhodes at Mania not involved in a title match. But I would argue that if he doesn't win it back at Mania, I don't think he should. I think you need to keep him away from the title a little bit. I think have him involved in other stories that don't involve chasing the championship. Hell, you could have him try to hold the United States title. See how that works.
Well, let's put a pin on this for now because we're going to talk about Cody later on. Tommy, did you want to add something?
Yeah, just the fact that I was shocked that none of us brought up the mic drop that was, hey, Cody, I'm going to save your ass some time. I put a clause in that contract that you clearly didn't read. You ain't getting a fucking rematch, which makes me think, what the hell is up with the damn rematch clause? Like, entirely. Like, the entirety of the rematch clause. They let to pick and choose where the hell they slip it in, and now you have to put it in the contract that he's not getting a title match? That he's not getting his rematch?
I don't think he was ever getting one anyway because John Cena sure as shit never did, and neither did Roman.
Yeah. At least they addressed it. Because, that was one of the major points of Drew McIntyre's promo is like, hey, don't worry, you guys. And the people actually popped for that. And they were like, Cody's not getting a rematch. They're like, yeah, okay, cool. Oh, good stuff. But I thought it was a dope way to kick off this match because we had some major announcements. We had a little altercation. And we had a nice little segue where The Miz attacked Randy Orton from behind in this opening segment that when we came back from commercial break, we go to the ring where Randy Orton and The Miz are having their qualifying match on a one-on-one to determine who's going to go on to Saturday night's main event. One of the 4 spots for that Fatal 4-Way was going to be determined here in this match. And this was a nice, quick, it was like a 5-6 minute match where The Miz and Randy went back and forth. The Miz got there was a few false finishes there. The Miz got his shit in as well. It wasn't a complete, like, fucking squash match. And, when we started talking about the show, how to me it kind of felt cold. This match was one of them that it wasn't. It was a little bit more exciting to me because we've been seeing The Miz and Randy Orton have little like segments for the past couple of weeks. Randy hit The Miz with an RKO a couple of weeks ago, and then The Miz would they were getting some FaceTime, I guess, these two leading up to this match, unlike some of these other matches. So I'm like, okay, I enjoyed this match a whole lot. It wasn't long. It was to the point. Randy Orton won, so he advanced, but The Miz looked really good in here, I thought, too. Overall, I thought this match was solid. I really liked it.
Here's the thing. Like I said earlier, I've seen these guys verse many, many times. I never expected Randy to squash Miz anyway. I mean, Miz, regardless of what people think about him, he's still a threat. And people forget, he beat Randy Orton for a WWE championship just a few years ago. Remember, Randy goes for an RKO, gets countered into a skull-crushing finale, 1, 2, 3, Miz is champion. Does anybody remember that? So it's not like Miz has not beaten Randy before, but even more than that, he's beaten him for a title before. I thought the crowd loved this. They were into it. They were begging Randy one more back body drop or back suplex on the announcer table. It was a fine match, and so far I am 1-4 at this point in the show for whom I said last week was going to win their qualifying match. Because remember, I called them all last week. This was number 1.
So I didn't call mine, but I still made my own predictions without anyone knowing. But I did have Randy for this match and 1-4. So yeah, the match was really good, but I mean, he did get a lot of offense, but I wish Miz would have had more in the match. I mean, not that it wasn't a good match because Brandy was basically in control almost the entire time. But just I wish Miz got more because he's underused right now where he is. I mean, yes, he built Carmelo Hayes up more, and now he's U.S. champion. But I mean, just the Miz needs more. I'd like to see him somewhere else. So I said to myself, I wouldn't mind the Miz winning because he desperately needs something. And Drew versus Miz at Rumble, yeah, no. Now that I say that, that does not sound like a good match to me. But anyways, it was a good match in my opinion, but just the Miz needs more.
Oh yeah, it was definitely a good match. But you want to know what I would love to see? The Miz actually winning a fucking one-on-one match. Because he has gone over a year now without winning a single one-on-one match. Because all last year, the only wins that he could get is when he was tagging with Carmelo Hayes. That's it. Every single one-on-one match that this man had, he lost it. So, if you really want to work The Miz and bring him up a little bit, have him win some damn one-on-one matches. Because he, unfortunately, is in that streak that nobody wants to be in right now.
Oh, that's my cue, huh? My bad, I forgot. Shit. Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair teamed up versus Kiana James and Julia. And Charlotte Flair was not on SmackDown last week. which left Alexa Bliss solo dolo, and she got pummeled. She got jumped last week. Alexa Bliss did, right? So before this match, Alexa Bliss was like, "Charlotte, what the hell? Were you actually sick, or were you just like just didn't want to show up to work or whatever? Because I got beat up last week, right?" So Alexa Bliss and Charlotte are having this little back and forth, like, yeah, I was sick. Yeah, I got your back. Oh, are we friends still? Are we not friends? And blah, blah, blah. I'm like, how old are we? 12? Like, what the fuck? But I did, there was one thing I am going to say positive about this match because for the most part, I thought the match sucked. But Kiana James was really highlighted in this show, in this match. She got a lot of in ring time. She got to go in there with Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. Kiana James looks amazing. She looks like an athlete. She looks like a badass. She's pretty decent in the ring. And Corey Graves said it best. Uh, she's improving a lot. Kiana James is. So that was cool to see. I believe Alexa Bliss hit her finisher on Kiana James, the Bray Wyatt finish. Sister Abigail, 1, 2, 3. Kiana James took the pin, but it was cool to see that Kiana James got most of this match compared to her tag team partner Julia. So other than that, yeah, I could care less about this.
I enjoyed the match, but when it came down to it, I thought definitely Kiana James looked really good out there. Still kind of green, but or a little rough around the edges from what I saw. I think she's still working on her timing, but that comes with reps. When it comes down to it, I will highlight that she has a great look, and I don't mean that in any kind of innuendo or anything. She has a great look. She's built like an athlete. She looks like $1,000,000. Her gear looks awesome. She has a bit of a confidence to her that you can kind of tell. Pardon me. She looks like an athlete. She's built great. Her gear, looks amazing. She looks like $1,000,000. She's really built like an athlete, and she has this kind of confidence that exudes out of her that I think. You either have it or you don't. There's the kind of a cock of the walk people have where, it's kind of like a swagger. And she definitely moved in there like a person who I could see having some really great matches someday. Again, Julia's in the match, and I'm just like, hey, I'm glad you're finally involved in anything other than Zelina Vega, fucking, Chelsea Green, Vortex, like nothing against Chelsea, but like this girl came up to the main roster with such fanfare and was deflated almost by the second week. And she was the biggest deal in the world when she got brought over to NXT. And they did fuck all with her within a year. And so it was just kind of depressing, right? Like, so it's good that she was in the match, but she didn't do much but sell. So I'm hoping that, hey, we're putting you in matches with two former women's champion in a feud with another former women's champion, and that of Nia Jax. And she had a face off with Nia, and Kiana had to pull her back. But again, I'm going to say it like I did last week. Alexa Bliss, people love her, but man, the loudest pop of every match she is in is that damn Sister Abigail. The way that she locks it and stares forward at hard cam, every arena goes ape shit for that. And I always wait for it. I always wait to see it. So yeah. Also, it was nice to see Alexa get a pen. So here for it.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Kiana James is, I mean, if she would get out of, I mean, not that I don't like the position that she's in with Julia, but if she would get out of that, I could see her as like a top star, or like, I'm not trying to say main eventer, or like, what's it called? World champion, because she's nowhere near that yet. But I could see her as a top stars, like for instance, I'm just giving an example, like Carmelo Hayes, or like Stephanie Vaquer, but without the world title ability to like be a credible champion. if she would get out of this, I could see her being like a champion. But she's one of those superstars that can do good both as a cocky manager or like a really fucking talented wrestler. So I'm excited to see where she goes in the future, like with this. But just I don't think she needs to win that tag match next week. I don't think her and Julia need to win that. So yeah, not a lot of thoughts. I didn't really like care for the match because I mean anything with Julia is kind of but yeah.
Something you said there, Tox. Sorry, Tommy. Kind of made me think something, and I think this will kind of put something into perspective. You said that if they could just get Kiana away from this Julia stuff, and I agree with you because of what I'm about to say. They put Kiana James with Julia because they wanted to pair a newbie up with a veteran so the veteran could help her kind of grease her wheel, get over, find her place, and figure herself out, which is the same thing they're doing with Lash Legend, pairing her with Nia Jax, right? They do that a lot. They pair a young and up-and-comer with a vet. And even though Julia is new to WWE, she's the veteran on the actual world scene. This, however, only works WWE if the veteran you put her with actually gets featured too. Because the only way Kiana's going to get featured is if Julia is the one on the card for Kiana to be paired with. And you booked her like shit last year. So Kiana hasn't had barely any time to showcase what she can do on a live TV audience. And that's the problem. It's not that you need to get Kiana away from Julia. It's that you need to give Julia better shit to do so Kiana can do better shit by proxy.
Yeah, and also I got to jump in here too. She's also the mouthpiece for Julia. And after seeing this match, Kiana James does all the talking. Kiana James did most of the bumping in this match, most of the feeding. She's the one that took the pin. She's the one that made Alexa Bliss and Charlotte look really good. She's doing most of the fucking work.
It's starting to seem like maybe Julia needs her more than Kiana needs Julia. You know?
Yeah.
To be
I
fair.
think so.
And if you're asking me, you had Kiana eat the pin instead of Julia because Julia,
is a champion.
And that's great. But you also do a disservice to Kiana because how are we supposed to buy into a new star that you're having lose? Now, I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with losing to Alexa and Charlotte. Hell, if you are an up-and-comer and you're going to lose to anybody, it better sure as shit be to former world champions, as well as former tag champions. That's fine. But it's just like you didn't even have to put her in that position at all.
Yeah. I would honestly, because we'll talk about like the women's division, but when, we talk about like Jade Cargill and Jordan Grace, who we're seeing come up and being, elevated in a very quick way. I would put Kiana James up there if we're talking about like genetic freaks like Jordan Grace and Jade Cargill. Like I would like to see Kiana James and Jordan Grace or Kiana James versus Jade Cargill one day, but that's just me.
No, it'd be great. Let her get her footing a little bit more, kind of work on that timing. But other than that, she shows an extreme amount of promise.
Yeah, and especially since she, like Toxic said, she's getting another rep in with that triple threat tag match for number one contendership for the women's tag titles literally next week. It is going to be Charlexa, as Joe Tessitore called them, Charlotte and Alexa. God. You've got Nia Jax and Lash Legend, and then you've got Kiana James and Julia. I also do not think that Kiana James and Julia need this, especially with the fact that you already have the Women's United States Champion in this match. She really does not need a tag match at all. She does not need the tag titles. But this is what I would love to see more of when it comes to Kiana James. Dark matches and house shows are getting one-on-one matches with her. Why aren't they being televised?
With who?
Kiana James.
She's getting dark matches. I'll tell you what I'd like to see? I'd like to see Kiana and Julia almost win next week, like get so fucking close and lose, and then have Kiana turn on Julia. So you can have Kiana as a babyface, keep Julia a heel, and then Kiana can go on her own solo run. We can start getting her started. Or if you want, have Julia turn on Kiana and blame her like, hey, you got pinned last week and you get pinned this week, and then turn on Kiana. That turns Kiana face, and it also gives Julia a new challenger for that U.S. title that is not named Chelsea Green. So I think that would be great. And then we can start maybe getting the ball rolling and giving this girl some momentum.
Especially since the last one-on-one match we saw was with Machin when it comes to Kiana James. That was literally the last one-on-one match that Kiana James had. So I would love to see a whole lot more than that.
Yeah, I forgot she worked here.
Shout out to Tagar Laga. They bring up a really good point. Would Kiana James turning on Julia be the best idea or the other way around?
See, like I said, you can do it one of two ways. You can give Kiana a really big star starting moment by having her attack the heel, the champion heel, and then Julia wanting her lick back and it resulting in a title match for Kiana, which is great. Or you can have Julia maintain her heel status and attack Kiana, and then that still winds up in her getting a title either way. Unfortunately, you wind up making Kiana look weak, especially let's say if she gets pinned and then she gets beat up by her own tag partner. I don't know if you want to risk her looking weak. So I think the other way around with Kiana doing the turning makes more sense. But I think not just her turning for no reason. I think Kiana needs to be pushed or antagonized by Julia after the match so it justifies Kiana standing up for herself. Because you don't want the audience getting confused and wondering who's turning face and who's turning heel. So I think there needs to be a justification. You could also have Kiana stay heel and attack Julia and turn Julia face, because Julia did get in Nia's face tonight, and that's something a baby face would do. So
yeah, I'm on the other side of this. If this split ever were to happen, which I don't think is going to happen anytime soon, because there's been no teasing of this at all or anything, but Julia being the heel that she currently is right now, turning on Kiana James automatically baby faces Kiana James, and the people might actually give a fuck about her because they're so used to booing Julia anyway that it just, well, this girl, Julia's a bitch, so yeah, let's cheer for Kiana James, which I think that would work better for her. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. I'm just glad she's getting TV time, Kiana James, and she's showing what she can do, man. She looked good, But let's move on because we still got a lot of SmackDown to cover. I'm sure we'll be talking about Kiana James more throughout the weeks. Cody Rhodes coming out here looking all naked without his undisputed title. And Cody Rhodes looks not only different, he looks defeated. He's not coming out smiling like he usually does, or, he kind of looked like shit a little bit. He looked beat up. He looked tired, Cody did, and he gets a mix of cheers and boos at first. And, he addresses the elephant in the room. Usually, I come out, I bang the floor 3 times, we hit the whoa, and I get cheered, and that's not really the case anymore. The people pop for that. But Cody wins them back in his promo. Cody is like, this city means a lot to me. This city deserves this state, or I forgot what he said, deserves a WrestleMania. And the people blew up as soon as Cody said that. So they went from kind of booing Cody to cheering Cody. And then Cody makes the major announcement that he's going to declare that he's declared himself officially in the Royal Rumble. The first person to do this year, less than 2 weeks away from the Rumble, it's Cody Rhodes. And I was thinking, okay, well, now we know why no one else has declared themselves for the Rumble, because Cody Rhodes was going to be the first to do it. Cody also compared himself to other wrestlers that have won the Royal Rumble back to back, including Shawn Michaels and Steve Austin. But is Cody going to be the first ever to win it 3 times? And I think that's when the people were like, I don't know if we want to see that. But yeah, we got to see a different side of Cody here, which I thought was pretty good.
Well, correction, Snug. Someone has won the Rumble 3 times, but he'd be the first person to do it back to back to back. Austin won the Rumble 3 times. But when it comes down to it, what I liked about this and what I thought was the most interesting thing about this whole segment is that the crowd really wanted to boo Cody. They really wanted to hate on everything he said, everything he did. Every time he mentioned how he was defeated or how he got beaten or this or that, they cheered for his downfall. Anytime he tried to say something positive about his history or other wrestlers that he compared himself to, like you just mentioned, they booed him. And to the moment, because you know how this is, fans are extremely selfish and very about themselves. Is the moment he goes, I love this place, they go, oh, hey, he likes where we're from. Let's cheer. And it's because when he was still in the independent scene after he left WWE the first time, he wrestled there at What Culture Pro. Now, What Culture Pro, for those who don't know, What Culture Wrestling is a very famous YouTube channel, wrestling YouTube channel and company and podcast that used to have their own professional wrestling independent scene. A lot of wrestlers went through What Culture Pro on their way back around to the bigger companies. Cody was one of them. Now, he declares himself for the Rumble. That's great. Glad he declared himself for the Rumble. Again, like 2 weeks and a day away. So better late than never. I wonder how many people are going to thrust their announcements in on Monday and next Friday. But when it comes down to it, I don't see him winning a third time. Like we've discussed before, the 3 picks are from 3-1, Roman, Braun, and number 1 with a gun, Sammy. It's in Saudi Arabia. No one is going to get a louder cheer or pop in that Rumble more than Sammy. I guarantee it. Even if Jericho mysteriously just magically returned, I don't see him getting a louder pop than Sami Zayn in fucking Saudi Arabia. I just don't. But this was fine. I don't know if we're mentioning what came next, but I'll wait until you cue it.
What were we talking about again? I forgot.
Cody Rhodes
Oh,
promo.
shit, my
ADHD.
bad. Yeah. Okay. Cody, I'm fine with Cody declaring himself, okay? But just because he did it doesn't mean everyone else in the fucking locker rooms on both brands need to. They just need to keep it a surprise and do it like how they did at 2024, I'm pretty sure. And they just showed like, oh, here's just a sneak peek at who could be in the Rumble or something like that. But yeah, just have no one. If you do have someone else, have like 1 or 2. Um, but just don't have anyone else declare. And I could tell that the crowd really wanted to boo Cody because like it's just I don't know what it was like off the top of my head. But it just the vibe in the arena felt like, oh, we hate this guy. I don't even like him. Get off the stage. Like how they were doing at WrestleMania 41 with him and John Cena. Yeah, that's what it felt like, but tonight in wherever the hell they're at.
I think that's more just because of where they were. He was in Drew's home. If this was like regular like sports, he was at an away game, and it was Drew's home field. So naturally, automatic boos. And Mania last year, people wanted John to win so fucking bad. They were just so against Cody winning. I don't think they hate him. I just think, hey, this is Drew's time in Drew's town. We're not cheering you. It's not about you tonight.
Yeah. So that's all I have to say. I don't even know if we're talking about what next, so I'm gonna wait.
Hey, Blood, where the hell are you getting back to back to back from?
What are you talking about? He mentioned that only all the people who have won Royal Rumbles back to back, and he said only one person's ever done it 3 times. He would be the first person to win the Rumble 3 years in a row. However,
He wasn't in the Rumble last year. He was champion.
Oh, that's right. You're right. You're right.
But Austin did win it 3 times. I just looked it up.
Yes. But I'm thinking, sorry, my bad. I kept thinking this was 2025 and last year was 2024. I'm not used to the new year yet.
I was about to say, because last year's Rumble we got mixed feelings because of Jay.
Yeah, that's right.
So, yeah. And when it comes to good old Cody Raheem Rhodes, as the internet loves to call him, it's Cody. Of course, he was going to get booed because he's over there. But, of course, he was also going to get cheers. The massive woes was going to happen. I honestly like this more serious side of him compared to the whole, hey, I'm all happy and all of this shit. Like, I'm honestly really, really into this serious side of Cody that we're currently seeing, which is making me wonder how long we're going to get this for, especially with an announcement that happened later on in the show in which we will get to.
So what was the other part you guys are talking about? This is when Jacob Fatu came out and went after Cody, right? And they had that big pull apart.
This is the part we were waiting on, yeah, because you didn't cue it up, so we just waited.
Although that pull apart happened later in the show.
Huh?
That pull apart happened right after a match. He ended up grabbing the mic from. It happened with Kit Wilson.
But we're talking about Tommy. We're talking about when Cody called out Jacob.
Yeah, that wasn't in this segment though, was it? This was later.
It was at the end of this promo where Cody goes, "You can be all gas and no brakes, and I'll beat the brakes off your ass."
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he did mention Jacob, but Jacob didn't come out until later on in the show. He didn't come out here. Okay, so the pull apart hasn't happened yet, basically. Okay. But what did you want to add something about that comment Cody made?
No, I figured I didn't know if we were going to talk about the pull apart now since they're already kind of mixed in with the segment. It kind of continues from there just later.
No, let's talk about the next match first, and then we can get into that. The horns went off, and Whip That Trick went crazy in the UK. The people popped huge for Trick Williams, and he was facing Matt Cardona, and this is one of the matches that I really wanted to see because Matt Cardona just got to SmackDown. So did Trick Williams. We got a veteran, Matt Cardona, who cut a really good promo during an interview before the match where he was serious. He's like, I'm back, but I'm not just back. I'm back to become Undisputed Champion, which I thought was lovely to hear coming from him because, you got people like Cody, you got people like Drew, Matt Cardona, who damn near started their careers like around the same time, I want to say. Even Matt Cardona mentioned that Drew's first WWE match was versus Matt Cardona way back when. So, we see Drew winning championships, Cody winning championships. Why not Matt Cardona? I thought that was great to hear him, put himself on that level with those guys, So I'm like, okay, is he going to beat Trick Williams or is Trick Williams going to go over? Because Trick is hot. He came in steaming, getting wins, and, he's a young, hungry kid. So you got the veteran versus a new up and coming guy. They had a dope match, but the young guy won. Trick Williams is going to Saturday night's main event. But how did you guys feel about this? I know there's a lot of people that were like, oh, that's why you brought back Matt Cardona. Oh, welcome back, Matt Cardona. You're just going to get beat. But how did you guys feel about the match and the outcome?
Well, I'm 2-4 because I called Trick as well. Because it was kind of a foregone conclusion. You just called him up, young and hot, called his shot to be world champion, called his shot in the face of Sami Zayn, mind you. and then went on here. I think here's the thing. Matt Cardona made an excellent point. He should be back for World Championship gold. He should be. Because I don't care what anybody says about his last tenure. It took him forever to put the United States title, and then it took him forever to put the Intercontinental Championship on him. Then they let him go, and he had to make his own championship to get up. Do you realize there is no, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, a lot of the Young Bucks, fucking Cody Rhodes, a lot of these guys we love to death do not, in many ways, get to this position in the WWE without Matt Cardona helping them left and right on the independent scene. He gave them the blueprint on how to reinvent themselves, Drew McIntyre included. Because all these guys, either before they were in WWE or when they were fired or quit from WWE, were lost out in space. And they were told, what do I do? Who do I get to make my gear? Who do I get to get me promotions and bookings and this? Who? And they go, you want to call Matt? What do you mean? Call Matt Cardona. He'll give you the blueprint. And they call Matt, and Matt Cardona consistently gave these guys a roadmap to start their independent careers so they could reinvent themselves. Cody and Drew owe a lot to Matt Cardona. A lot. And they've said that in interviews. So why shouldn't the guy that helped these guys become the guys not also get a shot to be the guy himself? Because there is no them without him. What upsets me, even though I love that Trick won this match, because it's great for him, up and comer. Matt's not old, but he's starting to get to that point in his career where he's going to be long in the tooth soon. He is closer to 40 than he is 30. My thing is I think you kind of cut his legs out from under him because you put them both in a lose-lose situation. If Matt goes in and wins, you cut Trick's momentum. But Trick just won, you automatically cut Matt's momentum because Matt also was in the tournament for the John Cena shit and he lost. Now he's
lost
back
at
here
NXT
again.
too.
And he lost in NXT, and now he's here and he lost. So far, all the new fans who don't know how good this guy actually is, 2 times they've seen him on the main roster in the last month and a half, he's lost. So it's like, you got to give him wins, but don't put him in positions where he has to lose. Because the truth is, you couldn't have him win here. You needed Trick to go over because you set Trick up to go over. I love the match. It was awesome. The fans loved it. I love that Trick won clean. I just wish it wasn't at the expense of Matt too, because it was either man lost. Either men were kind of going to get screwed here. And I think they could have put Trick against someone who could have afforded to lose.
Yeah, I really couldn't even decide who I wanted to win because, I mean, both of these stars are fucking amazing, but if one wins, it's at the cost of the other. I mean, Matt Cardona is on fire because of his return and what he did in the last time is now tournament and everything like that. And Trick, he just got called up. You want to keep the momentum on him. So, I mean, it was a win-win, but at the same time, a lose-lose. So, I mean, I ended up picking Matt Cardona to win, which I got wrong, but it's still good that Trick won. Because just think about it. If Trick wins that, Trick Williams versus Drew McIntyre for the undisputed WWE Championship, that sounds like a good match. So, I mean, in my mind, I'm trying to predict the matches on what I would like to see at the Rumble. Like I would like to see Randy and Drew go at it for the title, but at the same time, there's other people that I would like to see go at it for the title at the Rumble. So I'm disappointed that Matt lost, but I'm not disappointed that Trick won because win-win, lose-lose.
Yeah, y'all are right. This truly was a win-win situation or a lose-lose situation. There was no really getting out of this evenly with this. But this is the biggest thing here. It seems like Matt Cardona is going to be chasing not just a world title, but another personal title of his own. Zack Ryder started this, and Matt Cardona is going to finish it. He only needs a world title to become Grand Slam champion. That's it. Because he's won tag, he's won the United States, he's won the Intercontinental. All he needs is a world title run. That's it. That's literally all this man needs to become a Grand Slam champion. So as much as I would love for him to move on to this Fatal 4-Way, it did truly have to go to Trick Williams because of the fact that you literally just called this man up. So either way, it was going to stop the momentum, unfortunately. But I feel like Matt Cardona could easily take that bigger hit than Trick Williams could.
All right, y'all. After this match, we had an interesting segment. I don't know if this happened during commercial break or if you guys saw it, but after, like, literally after the match, Kit Wilson's iconic music hit. And the people blew up. And it's probably a lot of this had to do with the fact that they're in the UK. I believe Kit Wilson is from, overseas over there. But also, we're going to take some of that credit because the meme that we made putting over Kit Wilson got a lot of fucking views and like thousands and thousands of likes. And that, we put that out like a couple weeks ago, like when he first came out to like his fucking music, which by the way, his theme song on the WWE YouTube channel is like on a 4-hour loop now.
It's
which is
extremely
fucking funny.
It's viral right now, that entrance theme.
So the fucking place exploded when he came out and he attacked Matt Cardona, of all people, who Matt Cardona beat Kit Wilson a couple of weeks ago. So it looks like we might see, Kit and Matt Cardona go at it again, which I'm sure the people would love to see more of Kit Wilson, but not before Kit Wilson cut a promo of his toxic masculinity, toxic. And he gets beat up by Jacob Fatu. So it was really cool to see Kit Wilson get his hands on Matt Cardona and also be in the same ring as someone like Jacob Fatu, of a major main event star that Jacob Fatu is. And Jacob Fatu clears the ring of Kit Wilson. He grabs the mic and he tells Cody to get his ass out there. Cody Rhodes wastes no time and he just rushes the ring. I don't know if Cody is either brave or just dumb to just rush someone crazy like Jacob Fatu like that, but he did. They had to pull apart. Security rushed in. And then the main event, and I'm not the main event, but the match at Saturday night's main event was announced. We're going to see Jacob Fatu versus Cody Rhodes next weekend, which I got to say, I'm pretty excited for that one.
Yeah, the Kit Wilson stuff, that was fun. But again, it just goes to show he's a comedy act, regardless of whether he's pretty deadly or not. He's a comedy act. And he's going to be treated and booked as such. Because I mean, I made this point before. I love Kit Wilson, love him in Pretty Deadly. I think he's great. But WWE clearly sees him as comedy fodder, who the best thing about him, the biggest he's ever going to be, is his theme song. And that is becoming very, very clear and very evident very quickly. Jacob Fatu beats the shit out of him. Great. Cody rushed the ring. Unlike you, though, Snug, I'm not surprised Cody rushed Jacob. I mean, Jacob's, he's a Samoan, he's big and tough. I get it. I'm Polynesian too. I'm big, I'm tough. But Cody Rhodes has rushed Brock fucking Lesnar. So if he'll rush Brock Lesnar, I don't think he's that worried about rushing Jacob Fatu. Because as much as I love Jacob, I think Brock Lesnar is a much more intimidating human being to be like, I am going to run and jump on you. Like, Because Brock's gonna be like, I'm just gonna catch and then throw you over my fucking head right on top of your neck. You know, like, but at the end of the day, this was a very, what's the word? Soft pull apart brawl. Didn't last very long. It was very, very like just your standard. I got a couple hits, you got a couple hits. They yank us apart. We scream at each other. One of us breaks free. I attack. We get huddled at the ground again. Then it's over. It is what it was. I feel like they're trying to fast track this shit between Cody and Jacob because they want to fill up some of the time between now and Rumble where Jacob and Cody can fight and then bring it back to Drew. Because they did say in the reports that the plan going forward is a triple threat feud between Cody, Jacob, and Drew. That was the plan apparently at the end of last year before Jacob had to go out for his mouth surgery stuff. And so apparently they were actually supposed to do that to begin with. Now they're actually doing it. So I think they're just getting the animosity between Jacob and Cody built up so they can bring that back to Drew. But this was fine. It does what it needs to do for the story.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, and I know you two at the bottom are going to get wide-eyed when I say this, but I hate Kit Wilson more than I do Gunther. I hate him more than I swear his theme song is so annoying, and I know I'm going to get flamed for this if it becomes a clip, which Snug will most likely... Yeah, I'm most
No,
likely
you
dying.
gotta clip that shit, bro.
No, I
didn't think I'd ever hear that come out of your mouth.
I just hate him more than the fact that he screams my user talk every time he says it. I'm like, stop saying my name. Stop saying my name. But
toxic.
That's the most.
Yeah.
That is the most out there thing I think I've ever heard out of your mouth. What's wrong, Tox? You don't love masculinity. What did he say? I'm going to be the tonic to your toxic masculinity.
You should send him a cease and desist for using your name, Tox.
Yeah, get some royalties.
I plan on it. But anyways, that's out of the way. I just feel like that triple threat, like if we get a triple threat at Mania for let's say it's a whole nother Rhea, Io, and Bianca situation, but it actually makes sense now with Drew, Jacob, and Cody, I would be fine with that, especially if it's the main event for this year's the coming up WrestleMania 41. I would be fine with that. That cook. Okay, but yeah, that's really all I have to say.
I don't really want to see them do that at Mania. I'll be honest. Mania's 3 fucking months and like 3 days from now. Do I really want to see them drag out a feud between Cody, Drew, and Jacob for another 3 months when I just watched Cody and Drew go at it for almost 6?
And then now we're about to see Jacob and Cody. So maybe maybe they could do it at Chamber.
Yeah,
all right,
maybe then.
All right, let's let Tommy go because we're running out of time.
Oh, yeah. So to keep this quick, of course, Jacob Fatu was over here doing everything else. Of course, you've got Kit Wilson coming out to his theme, which, of course, everybody in the fucking crowd starts singing it because of the fact that it is literally the only thing on our fucking For You pages. Legitimately, right after that song came out, that was the only thing on my damn For You page. Was every fucking content creator in existence that's on there is over here with Kit Wilson's theme every time I scroll through. I'm like, what the hell? No! I love the song as much as y'all do, but give it a fucking break.
Nah, it's just getting started, dog. I'm telling you, this thing's gonna pick up a lot of steam. It's gonna pick up. It's gonna grow and grow. I'm willing to bet. All right, you guys. We had the next qualifying match between Damian Priest and Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa was walking around with the Wyatt lantern, which earlier before the match, he was kind of using that as a bargaining chip to get a title shot for the tag team champions from the White Six, right? However, Solo should have had his focus more on Damien, a former world champion, Damien Priest, a very dangerous Damien Priest. And yeah, these two guys had a dope match too. You know, they beat the crap out of each other. They went back and forth. I liked the match, but the White Six came out to even out the odds because the MFTs were out there trying to play the numbers game. The White Six come out. Now we have a one-on-one situation. Damian Priest takes advantage with a little bit of distraction from Uncle Howdy. And Damian Priest picks up the win on this one, I believe. So it's Priest, surprisingly, because I thought Solo was going to win. He's going to Saturday night's main event, right? Damian Priest is.
Thank God, man. I love Solo, but I have been missing Drew in the world title scene. Or not Drew, Damien. I've been missing Damien in the world title scene for so long. I am never going to forgive them for the downfall of Damian Priest. The man in 2024 was being put over to such an extent, in such a way, world heavyweight fucking champion, like leader of the Judgment Day still at that point, the biggest story on Raw, constantly featured in segment after segment, then over as hell with Rhea with the Terror Twins, and then, man, how far the mighty has fallen. Spent the beginning of last year in just the vortex of the United States Championship with, Solo and Jacob and LA Knight and Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre for part of it. And it was just like, dude, how are you in this? First off, how are you and Drew both here when in 2024, you two were probably some of the most featured players in the company? And then they just dropped them both into just mid-card filler shit. And Drew finally clawed his way out of it, but Damian was there for all of last year. And what a boring fucking feud, in my opinion, that he had with Alistair that took a biblical amount of time to fucking end. And it's like, can we get this man back where he belongs? Because he is great in the main event scene. And I love that Solo's here, but please do not get Damian wrapped up in the Solo Wyatt shit. I've had enough of Damian dealing with spooky bullshit. Please, just let him get back to the main event scene where Damian fucking belongs. The match was fine. I'm glad he won, but do not leave him in here another week. Get him out. He beat Solo. Take him away from it. I don't need him getting trapped in the Solo mid-card vortex either.
Well, Blood, you're in luck because next week Trick Williams and Damian Priest goes one-on-one, so hopefully nothing happens. And I'm happy Damian won, but I want to spend just a little bit on the Wyatts. So that's what my turn's going to be covering, basically. I noticed two things tonight with the Wyatts. One, when the lantern is really important because one, no Eric Rowan, and it looks like the characters that they portray, like Uncle Howdy for Bo, the Buzzard for Dexter, for the Pig for Joe Gacy and whoever Nikki is, it looks like they're fading from the actual wrestlers. Like the characters are fading from them. And then whenever we see them later on, I don't know how to say this, but it looks like the Fiend is leaking through Uncle Howdy. Pause. I know. But if you think about it, he Uncle Howdy had the Fiend's gloves on. There's like a little bit of red in his hair. Plus, he had the Fiend's entrance jacket on tonight. So
Wow.
I'd like to see them do something like that to where basically Bo becomes the new Fiend because the Fiend character was awesome. So, and plus that would be an amazing way to tribute that side of Bray Wyatt. So
That'd be
I'm
dope.
done now.
His own version of the Fiend would be dope.
Yeah, especially knowing the fact that Bray legitimately only let 2 people under that Fiend mask. Bray himself and the guy who created the damn mask. Because that's who was under it when he returned. Was the guy who created literally everything he wore. But to keep this nice and quick and sweet, I'm not surprised that Damian Priest won here. So happy he's getting himself back in the main event scene. But all I'm seeing right now out of the whole Solo Sikoa Wyatt 6 thing is, hey, you have my lantern. Give me my lantern back. How many feuds are going to be over a fucking object? There were so many last year, including CM Punk versus fucking Drew McIntyre. And now we've got the fucking Wyatt 6 with the damn lantern.
That was the year before for the bracelet.
Oh, that was 2024? This is proof that 2025 kind of just fucking melded together at this point.
All right, the U.S. Open Challenge continues again. Carmelo Hayes defended versus Leon Slater. Holy shit, this was pretty crazy but it makes sense for so many reasons. They've been doing a hell of a job, they being the WWE, to really highlight this kid, 21 years old. He's been all over NXT. He's done some stuff in AAA. He's a TNA X Division champion. And he got an opportunity here in his home country to show what he can do. So he got the hometown pop. And he's carrying around the TNA X Division champion, which this was not by, a surprise at all, especially because just last night, TNA had their debut show on, was that network called AMC or something like that?
AMC, yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, this having Leon Slater here made a whole lot of sense. And the kid is young, he's high flying, he's kind of a similar style to Carmelo Hayes, so they had a crazy ass match. But I'm just thinking, like, man, like, this kid, how everything is like lining up for him. And it looks like he's doing a great job of taking advantage of every single opportunity that he's getting, as he should. So although I was kind of just like, I'm kind of over this US Open Challenge, and I'm just kind of like, okay, just having random matches over and over again, I was glad to see Leon Slater in this spot. And I hope he keeps getting more opportunities like this, man.
I think you're insane for being over the U.S. title open challenge. Because remember, we were begging for this championship to fucking matter for so many years. I mean, God, the dog shit feuds they put this title in the middle of, or never featuring it at all for weeks on end. I mean, look at Julia with the women's U.S. championship. I mean, God, I don't think I can remember the last time a championship had such a bad start. I mean, so when it comes to just the name of the U.S. title, whether it be men's or women's, there is not a lot of fanfare behind it. And this open challenge stuff, whether it be John Cena or it be this era now doing it, it needs serious rehabilitation. And this open challenge series is perfect. I want them to do it as long as they can. Because to me, it's never going to get old if it's always the new champion every now and again defending it. Because if the Intercontinental Championship is the workhorse title, I want the US title to be that of one for opportunity, like John Cena envisioned it to be. So for me, keep the open challenges coming, because we're getting some great fucking matchups out of them. And Leon Slater killed it tonight. Carmelo Hayes killed it tonight. I mean, that insane vaulting fucking Tornillo plancha over the freaking turnbuckle out to the outside. I was fucking afraid for him until the moment I was sure he made contact with Carmelo, because I thought bro was going into the front row. But I thought this match was great. But I do feel the same way about this that I felt about Trick Williams and Matt Cardona. You don't want to have Carmelo drop him, so you have to have him win. But it's also at the expense of Leon Slater losing again on WWE television. And he's a champion in their partner promotion. So for me, I'm just like, guys, I'm glad to see the match, but stop putting these guys in positions to where they can't win when you bring them over on your television product. TNA deserves love too on WWE TV, because it's not fair that WWE gets to have as many of their guys go over as possible, whether it's on TNA's home turf or on their own. You got to give TNA something, because otherwise, what's the partnership for if not building up all stars across both companies?
I'm gonna keep this really quick because we went kind of a long time. So this match, I'm watching Carmelo come through, I'm like, okay, who is it gonna be? I started thinking, oh, maybe it's like Ray Phoenix or someone along that line. But I was not expecting Leon Slater. I popped big because Leon is my favorite wrestler in TNA right now. Um, and just he killed it. He has a future in WWE. I can see him like, is it like, I don't even know if I can like say like when, because it's just hard to tell. But like if he drops the X Division championship to someone, have him come to WWE. Like if his contract's close to running out, have him come over to WWE because I can see him doing some big things over there. Um, one of the moves that I liked that he did, it was like a shit, I don't even know what to call it. He like did a flip, hit the ropes, and then did like a clothesline. It was something like that. But this match was awesome, and the only problem I have with the open challenges is what actually happened last week with that open challenge and Carmelo with his leg. It's just like, not that you don't need to have good matches because of injury, but it's just an issue that it's kind of like, are they even like physically okay in that area to even wrestle tonight? Or like,
I think that's they're starting to give Carmelo Hayes an out, because you're right. This is the second week that he's been selling that leg.
yeah,
So I'm wondering if they're planning on taking the belt off him pretty soon. That's a good point.
your turn, Tommy.
Yeah, it's why I had a problem when we did our NXT review, Snug, with Thea Hill doing the same thing, where we know for a fact there's something up with her. She's not fully 100%, but she goes out and does the open challenge anyways for that Women's North American title. Now we've got Carmelo Hayes doing the same thing. He can still do the open challenges. They don't have to be every single week like what we've had the last few months. So I would not mind if he focuses on himself and that leg and just takes like a couple weeks off of this open challenge stuff and just goes at it when he's closer to 100%.
How do you guys not know he's not just selling the leg in kayfabe? He might not be injured at all.
Well,
He's
that's
just
what I'm
selling
saying.
he's just selling for continuity.
That's what I'm saying. They're giving him an out.
Yeah, they're probably setting it up for an out because someone's going to take it off him next week or at Saturday night's main event. But again, these open challenges, though they don't need to be every week, it is important to have them because it is good for that title scene. And it gives the mid card something to fight for regularly.
All right, you guys. Jordan Grace, she had her second match on the main roster tonight versus Chelsea Green, former Women's United States champion. And she's getting closer and closer to Jade Cargill, looks like, because Jade Cargill was sitting ringside watching this. Although Jade didn't look half as impressed after seeing Jordan Grace defeat a former U.S. champion like Chelsea Green in a very convincing, very quick way. It was like less than 5 minutes, I believe. Um, yeah, I think we're gonna be getting that match at some point. Jordan Grace versus Jade Cargill, but again, I mean, Jordan Grace looked great tonight, I thought.
Yeah, I'm going to keep it brief. Love Jordan Grace. Been a big fan of hers since we've been seeing her in WWE TV ever since she was getting, surprise spots in the Royal Rumble and everything not too long ago. And she had again, second week in a row where they've given her a match just to showcase her strength and ability, which is smart. Let the WWE audience see what she can do. This is going to sound really stupid. Completely forgotten Jade was even champion. Completely forgot. To me, she is a placeholder champion. She doesn't fit that title, and I don't know if she's ever going to. And I think that's just because I don't really see her ability. But when it comes down to it, match was fine, serviceable, right person won. I like that she had a stare down with Jade, and I like that it wasn't Jordan that hit her, it was Chelsea. So we can keep these two from really touching until we get that match.
I'm also going to keep it brief. The only thing that I really have to say about this is that the match was good, even if it felt like a squash match to me. And I think I found the person that I want to take the championship off of Jade, because Jordan looks great with that belt.
Absolutely fucking agree. Give Jordan Grace his fucking title. I'm not exactly sure if they're going to do it this quickly, but I do completely agree. Put the fucking title on her. It looks so much better on her than it does Jade Cargill. The question is, if this match happens, will it happen at Rumble? Because so far, we haven't gotten shit for that. We know men's Rumble, women's Rumble. That's it. That is literally all we know. We are 2 weeks out from the Royal Rumble, and we haven't really gotten anything else.
Not true. We do know who Drew is. We do know that Drew is defending against whoever wins.
Okay, yeah. 3 out of what is supposed to be like a 5-match card?
It'll be a 4-match card with 2 Rumbles.
Maybe less.
I still would
like each
something more in there.
Because if
just so we can have something, because at this point we've got almost nothing.
Because if Rumble is going to be a 3-hour show, I would say the men's and the women's are probably going to take up like an hour each, so maybe like 2 matches in there.
They usually do. They do like the women's first, singles match, single match, and with the Rumble. So way I see it, we only really need 4 matches. I don't know about you, but the Rumble card doesn't need more than 4. It barely needs more than 3. So, I mean, I think, yeah, whoever Drew faces and whoever the fuck Punk's probably going to face. So other than that, yeah, I don't think you need more and more and more. No one needs a fucking 4-hour Rumble.
All right, you guys ready for the main event? The 4th and final qualifying match of the night was Sami Zayn versus Ilya Dragunov. And this was promising because this was a rematch. I believe Ilya Dragunov was the one that took the championship belt off Sami Zayn when he first won it, which was a hell of a fucking match. When Ilya made his return, his surprise comeback, he won the championship off Sami Zayn, his very first night back. So this match had a lot of the ability to be good, 2 great workers, and Sami Zayn won this match as much as I would have loved to see Ilya Dragunov win this one. It was Sami Zayn. The match wasn't bad. I mean, it was pretty good, except for the part where Sami Zayn fucked up in this match. And I don't know if you guys saw this because this was during commercial break. Sami Zayn hard-weighed Ilya Dragunov. He busted his shit wide open. Sami Zayn punched him dead in the fucking eyebrow, like in that super soft, sensitive area, and just split his shit like wide fucking open, which I'm pretty sure that was not supposed to happen because it was during a commercial break. Why would there be a fucking like a juice spot in commercial break? I don't know. So I'm pretty sure Sammy did not mean to do that, but it looked pretty fucking brutal. Like you can hear the fucking punch too. It was wild. So it was a very scary moment during the match, and that kind of woke me up because like after a 3 hour show, I was kind of just like out of it for a minute there, and then that happened. I was like, oh shit, now I'm paying attention. But yeah, Sami Zayn is going to Saturday night's main event. He's the fourth member of that Fatal 4-Way. What'd you guys think?
So I'm 4 for 4. Everybody I said would advance tonight advanced because when you looked at every match top to bottom, they were all kind of foregone conclusions. Let's be honest. So now we have ourselves, what is it? Sammy, Drew, Randy, and
Damien.
Sorry?
Priest.
Damien, not
Priest.
Drew.
Oh, Damien. I keep getting the D's. I keep doing the D's. But yeah,
Yeah,
so
Hey,
we
yo,
have
pause.
You keep
Yeah.
getting the D's, blood. We know.
yeah, so, shut the fuck up. But yeah, so we have our Fatal 4-Way. Now, the Fatal 4-Way, I'm not going to say who I think because we have predictions on Wednesday. So cheap plug. Make sure you tune into that on Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. But this main event was brutal, hard-hitting, really great. Exactly what you expect from Sammy and Ilya. Ilya is my fucking dog, bro. Love Ilya to death. I am such an Ilya stan. I'm also a massive stan for fucking Sammy for every reason under the sun. I do think this is Sammy's Rumble. I don't think it's his Mania year. I think it's next year when Mania is actually going to be in Saudi. But the hard way, a little bit of color, I think it added a ferociousness to this match, just another gear to this match that they were already giving. And the right guy won. I love Ilya, and I love the idea of Ilya being in the main title scene. But when you're really looking at how business works, and this is a business, Sammy makes more sense here, in my opinion.
I couldn't even decide who I wanted to win this, but I'm super short. I only have 2 words to describe the match. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, honestly, my boy Ilya Dragunov is absolutely the GOAT of NXT, plain and simple. Of current NXT when he was called up. Let me put it that way. Current NXT. But yeah, the right man won here because the first thing that popped into my head as soon as these matches were announced was, yeah, Sammy's going to win because Canada. You're going to Canada. You need a Canadian who better than Sami Zayn. So that's how I immediately knew that Sami Zayn was going to win this match.
Wait, what? What does Canada have to do with this match? They're in
Saturday
London,
night's
right?
main events is in Canada.
He's saying that he
Oh.
knew that Sammy had to go on to win because Saturday night's main event will be in Canada.
Oh,
So
okay.
to me, it's going to be a whole 2 weeks of it's all about Sammy and I feel bad for them, bro, because they're doing the whole European tour, traveling all over the God's or Queen's country over there, flying all the way back over here to North America. And then the following week, they got to fly their ass all the way over to the Middle East. Jet lag like a bitch. But Sammy, I mean, next Saturday's looking like his week in Canada. And then I'm thinking fucking, Saudi Arabia. If he don't win there, I think he's got Rumble if he doesn't win that at Saturday night's main event. That's what
Do you
it's
guys
feeling.
do you guys remember when they were talking about doing 2 nights of Rumble? That's not this year, is it?
No. They were talking about it. They didn't solidify it because they were talking about wanting to turn the big 4 PLEs into 2-night events. So Rumble, Chamber, Mania, SummerSlam. So they were talking about it, but they never solidified it. And no, thank God this year it's January 31st only.
Hmm.
So,
Well, that was the SmackDown review with the Snug Wrestling crew. Thanks to everyone that hung out with us and comments tonight. That was part of the show. If this is your first time here with us, thanks. Be sure to follow on socials and leave star ratings, leave reviews, and all that good shit. And let's get the fuck out of here.
well, guys, thanks for kicking it with us. As always, that was our review of Friday Night SmackDown. If you love hanging out with us, you can do it every single week on Monday and Friday nights after Monday Night Raw and SmackDown go off the air, respectively, at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 o'clock Central for live post-show reviews that go live on YouTube, Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, and Facebook Live. And if you want even more content, bonus content, during the actual shows, check out our social medias for live reactions from Edgar, the head of Snug Wrestling, while he goes segment to segment and posts his live reactions as they happen. Also, kick it with us every Thursday night. Myself, Mr. Blood, and that handsome Mexican Edgar I just mentioned do our one-on-ones on TikTok Live at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 o'clock Central for 1 hour every Thursday, where we answer your fan questions live and cover wrestling topics that are either random or relevant. And mark your calendars, because this upcoming Wednesday, we will be doing our predictions for next weekend's Saturday night's main event. So make sure you come and kick it with us for that, guys. Well, that's it for this episode. Enjoy your weekend. And guys, that was one time for the one time. So stay safe, stay savage, and stay snug. And boys, I said what? I said that was
4 letters.
4 letters.
Oh, let us.
One
One
word.
word.
Oh.
Uh.
Yeet.
Yeet.